Hi guys, what's up? This is Ideas of Ice and Fire. This is going to be a more classic Ideas of Ice and Fire video. I just happened to be looking at the world of Ice and Fire and I saw something that just made me think and it got me going. I had to pick up some of the books and A Clash of Kings specifically and go and look at some chapters and reread some things. And I think that I have something interesting to talk about for you guys. As some of you may know, if you follow me on Twitter, I'm currently at work on what I think is going to be one of my best A Song of Ice and Fire theory videos ever, which is my unified theory of A Song of Ice and Fire. And yeah, it takes time to make these videos, guys, these heavily edited, heavily researched videos, so that should be out hopefully by the end of the month. But let's talk about this first. Now, I'm actually going to start by reading you guys a short excerpt from A Clash of Kings, and just bear with me here. Okay. Glowing like the sunset, a red sword was raised in the hand of a blue-eyed king who cast no shadow. A cloth dragon swayed on poles amidst a cheering crowd. Now here is where it gets really interesting. This is the line that I want you guys to focus on. From a smoking tower, a great stone beast took wing, breathing shadow fire. A great stone beast breathing fire. Now that sounds like a dragon, and it has all these connections. Stone, dragon, fire. You know, Melisandre's prophecy is that Azor Ahai will come and wake dragons from stone. Alright, got that? Now, if we fast forward to the very end of A Clash of Kings, we get the final Bran chapter, and a bit of it is from the point of view of his direwolf, Summer. So Winterfell has been burned and pretty much destroyed by the Boltons, and Summer's there, and this is what he sees. The smoke and ash clouded his eyes, and in the sky he saw a great winged snake whose roar was a river of flame. It bared its teeth. He bared his teeth, but then the snake was gone. Behind the cliffs, tall fires were eating up the stars. So Bran, through the eyes of Summer, pretty much sees a giant winged snake erupt from the stones of Winterfell. Now, does that imagery sound a little bit like what I read before, what Dany saw in the House of the Undying? I think it does, and I think that it's not, they call it a beast, they call it a winged snake, but really what that is, and I think what you guys have probably guessed, it's a dragon. It sounds an awful lot like a dragon, and I think it's ingenious, and I've said this before because I've talked about this particular line from the end of Clash before. It's genius for George R. Martin to write it this way because it's from the point of view of a direwolf, and in these books, whenever we're looking through the eyes of a direwolf, whenever there's any kind of description being told from the point of view of a direwolf, it's always the direwolf doesn't have the same level of understanding as a person does. So of course it would see something like a dragon that it's never seen before as a winged snake. You know, that's the perfect way to describe a dragon from the point of view of a direwolf. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. I was looking at the world of Ice and Fire, just looking at the pictures really, just going through, and I get to this page and I'll put an image of this page up on the screen. You see here that there is the three-headed dragon, which represents Dany, House Targaryen, and you see on the other side, there's another dragon, a fourth dragon, that appears to be opposing the other three, the three-headed dragon. Now, we know that the three-headed dragon pretty much represents Dany because the number 3 just goes hand in hand with her. She has 3 dragon eggs. She's called by the Undying Ones the Child of 3. It's said that she must light 3 fires. She will be betrayed 3 times. So the number 3 is just associated with her. And then on top of that, just plainly, the sigil of House Targaryen is the three-headed dragon. So why are they also showing her this winged dragon bursting from stone? Are they showing her greatest opposition, something that will greatly oppose her, another dragon that will fight her 3? What kind of dragon could it possibly be? Could it be an ice dragon? Now, bear with me. Ice dragons are mentioned in the world of Ice and Fire. There are stories that come out of the Shivering Sea about ice dragons, and how they're many times the size of dragons that were found in Valyria. But however, they do breathe ice, according to legend. So is it really plausible to think that this dragon, which has twice now been described, bursting from stone, breathing shadow fire, breathing fire, is that really an ice dragon? It doesn't seem like that is referring to an ice dragon, but maybe it refers to some other dragon. Now, if you look at Winterfell, Winterfell is built on top of hot springs. What makes hot springs hot? Volcanic activity, basically. There's magma under the earth that's heating it up. Where are the dragons in Valyria said to have come from? The 14 fires, which were volcanoes. Volcanoes. So, is it conceivable that during the destruction of Winterfell, when Winterfell was burned, that it released some dragon that was layering underneath Winterfell? Was it that dragon that was keeping Winterfell's hot springs hot? Could there be more? We don't necessarily know. But what it definitely seems like is that something came out of the stone in Winterfell. What triggered this happening is still, I think, largely unexplained, but I think it has something to do with the burning of Winterfell. The biggest question, or the biggest hole in this idea, this theory, that I think that I have, which is why I didn't want to take the time and make this into like a whole big production, is that where has this dragon been hiding this entire time? Because Summer sees it go behind a mountain top, it looks like, and it just kind of vanishes, really. So where has it been all this time? We don't. That seems like a big plot hole. But if this does turn out to be a dragon, because so far from what I can tell, it's been mentioned twice in this book, and within really a few chapters of each other. That Dany House of the Undying chapter, and then like a few chapters later we get the Bran chapter of Summer seeing what the Undying Ones showed her. Summer sees what the Undying Ones showed her, I think. So that's why I'm kind of sold that it may be, that I'm pretty sure that this is actually a dragon. All right. Now, why in the world of Ice and Fire do we get this image of the three-headed dragon being juxtaposed to another dragon, and why are they fighting? Well, if you remember, somebody in this story had the dragon binder. Now, we are all assuming that this dragon binder, someone will blow it and it will bind one of Dany's dragons to it. But what if Dany's dragons are loyal to Dany? I mean, she is their mother. If there was another dragon in this story, one that no one is really paying attention to, what is to say that that dragon binder wouldn't just summon that other dragon? Now, it's been said in this story that killing a dragon can be done, but it is no easy task. And I tell you, from the Dance of the Dragons, which was a civil war that the Targaryens had with each other, in case you don't know, when dragons fight each other, that's what killed off most of the dragons. The dance with the Dance of the Dragons. When dragons fight each other, it's not a pretty sight. They kill each other. So, probably, Dany's dragons will end up facing off with that dragon that came out of Winterfell. And I think, judging by the looks of it, that dragon was already somewhat mature. More mature than Dany's dragons. So, it's likely larger. So, that would explain the image. It's about the size of all three of those dragons combined. So it's a really big dragon that seems to have been under Winterfell for God knows how long, perhaps centuries, because dragons live incredibly long lives. We don't even actually know how long, really. They say hundreds of years, many times the years of man, but if it was dormant, if it was like layered in the volcanic magma of Winterfell, could it have survived longer? Could it have been dormant, sleeping? We don't know. It's a huge possibility. And like I said, if you look at the way the legends are described, with the way the Valyrians found their dragons, they were just all layering in the 14 fires. How were they surviving? We don't know. Maybe if a dragon has a constant supply of heat and fire, it doesn't need to eat. Maybe they can exist indefinitely inside of a volcano. And all the ruckus and the fire, the burning of Winterfell is what unleashed it. I just think it's a very interesting topic. I saw that picture in the World of Ice and Fire and it really sparked my interest again, and I really wanted to talk about it with you guys. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you think that a dragon came out of Winterfell. Tell me what you think of what the Undying Ones showed Dany in the House of the Undying. And make sure you like and subscribe for more ideas of Ice and Fire. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter for future updates.